Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers showcase video. In today's video, we're looking at another exploration ship, and this one is called the Personal Exploration and Engineering Rocket, which is this lovely thing right here. So this is a fairly large ship that features everything you need to survive in survival mode. It's got a static drilling piston where you can deploy and collect up stone to be refined. It's got solar panels that can be folded all the way down in case you're trying to get through a tight area. And we've got a small deployable ship that we can unlock and fly around and even do some mining with. If I just come all the way around over to here it is. So you just sit on that seat, deploy it down, and now you can fly across to some asteroids and collect up some precious resources without needing to bring the ship close. If you find it in the spawn menu, the P.E.E.R, there it is only 565 large blocks, using none of the DLC packs and no mods. We can see what it includes on the Steam Workshop page right here. So we give this a thumbs up, which I already have. We'll move all the way around to the very front, and then we'll have a quick look around the outside. Then we'll take a quick look of the interior and see what it has to offer. So at the very front here, this is what we get. It's quite hard to actually see it because we are on the moon and it is quite dark despite the sun being here. Yes, we've got ourselves a glass bridge with two cockpits, one facing forwards and one sitting flush. So we can use this one to fly this forwards when we're out and about in space, and when we're trying to land it, we can hop down to this seat right here to make sure we're nice and level, and it makes it a lot easier on the camera to make sure we're landing safely. Yes, that is where we're going to live our life inside there. We've got an air vent, we've got programmable blocks, and a bunch of LCD screens showing us what's going on with the ship. As we were to move around the side here, what we can see is a bunch of lovely blue rounded blocks, and they come across onto these solar panels. These solar panels are on a hinge and they can be folded all the way down in case you don't want them deployed and you're trying to get through a small area, or maybe just docking up at a station and don't want to take up much room. So there we go, now going to fold all the way down, and they'll be just behind where the turret is sticking out, which is very nice. That's how flush it gets. If we were to just undo that, there we go, and continue to look around the main body, what we're going to see is a bunch of conveyors, a bunch of hydrogen tanks, and a load of hydrogen thrusters, with a couple of Gatling guns sitting on the tanks. That's going to be the same all the way around the ship, barring one side where we've got a ladder to get up from the ground, and over to here where we've got a doorway to get in and out of the interior, as well as a small catwalk to be able to walk around this platform and to access a button panel to manually open and close our solar panels. If I had to move all the way around over to here, there we go, and that's the ship we saw earlier. If we were to move further down over to here, we've got ourselves a connector on a piston just to make docking this thing up a little bit easier, and we do have some interior turrets to help with the odd pesky person who tries to board your ship. We can see our O2H2 generators or even refineries. I always get those blocks mixed up. They are sitting right there, and we do have some jump drives in the middle there, so we can jump a fair distance. If we were to come down and underneath this thing, this is what we get. There is our drill which we can deploy down, there's the bottom of our drilling ship, and we can see some spotlights to help us land this thing on a dark planet or a dark moon. And there we go, there's our large hydrogen thruster to make sure we can leave an atmosphere with great speed. So there we go with that. And if we come all the way up to the very top here, I did miss out this section right here, right on top of our auction farm. We do have a makeshift Gatling gun, which has decoys sitting around the side with a camera sitting right in the middle. So when we're flying in that cockpit, so if I aim the camera like so, we'll be able to shoot that all the way forward at any kind of pesky drone, or pirate, or even other player that tries to disturb you. And that is a very brief look around the outside of the Personal Exploration Engineering Rocket. It's a well-designed ship, means it's trying to cram as many features as possible into a very small design. So we've got our refineries in our survival kit, we've got assemblers, parachute hatches, lots of hydrogen tanks, lots of hydrogen thrusters, even some defense, and a small interior. So yes, that is very impressive. So what I'll do now is grab hold of my character, and being where we're standing here, we'll hop down to the ground, and we'll come across over to here, because we do have a few button panels next to this blinding light. So over here, if you can't make this out, this is going to be the hinge to deploy and to raise up our solar panels around the side. Number 2 is going to be for our spotlights down, on and off, so now we just turn that off and we're no longer getting blinded. Number 3 is going to be for our lights around the ship, so you might be able to see up there, that solar panel. I'll just flick it again. There we go, we just turn them on and off. And then number 4 is for our turrets on and off in case we don't need them. Coming over to this one right here, this is our connector, which is going to be for our connector sitting right there. So I press that, I'll be to lock and unlock it. That one's going to be for our piston to reverse it and put it back up. And then that one is going to be to turn it on and off. So there we go. Now what we need to do is climb up this ladder, which I'm not going to do. We're just going to jetpack all the way up to here. And we'll come up to where I was standing originally. So we'll come up to here. We do have a ladder to grab hold of in case it is quite wonky with the gravity. And now we can walk across this section here. And we can just find the door. There's our gravity generator. And there's the button panel we saw earlier, which is basically the same as the one we just used. So there's the solar panel. There's our spotlights on and off. And there's our exterior lights and whatnot. So opening up the doorway and coming inside, this is going to get a little bit confusing. But we can see over here an air vent to make sure we don't suffocate. And you can see there's not really a clear way to get up. Putting my light on here, we're going to be walking up a window, walking up this block, and we're going to walk up onto this section here. So there we go. We do have other areas inside here made out of passages which could be replaced with beds. So you could go to sleep inside here. There is a window. Just doesn't look like there's a window there. Yes, we can come into here. It's like little sleeping quarters. So just jam your head in there. Come on, you can get in here. Or apparently not. I got in there earlier. So you could replace them with, say, the bed blocks and go to sleep. So coming up to where I just was, inside here, this is the main interior. We've got a bunch of LCD screens showing us everything about the ship. This one shows us our oxygen, our cargo use, and if we've got any parachutes to deploy in case we're in an emergency. We also got our uranium for our reactors, and also if any blocks are damaged. Turning around over to this one, this is simply what's on and off. So we've got our refineries, our assemblers, our O2H2 generators, and our gravity generator, which I've turned off, because if we turn on the gravity generator, we're going to be ending up standing on that LCD screen. So there we go with that. Turning around over to here, this is our seat to drive this thing around, and over on this side, once again, we've got a button panel, which is going to be for our interior lights, our hinge to fold them down in case we need to take off or deploy them, our turrets on and off once again, and then our ejectors on and off, which is going to be for our drilling right below our ship. So getting into this, what we're going to do is bring the free camera all the way around to here. Pressing number 1 is going to be for our reverse thrust, and this is going to change depending on which seat we're in. So being we're sitting in that seat, coming down to here and pressing number 1 is going to turn off those ones. So when we move forwards, we'll go into a cruise control and won't slow down. Number 2 is going to be for our solar panels, once again to fold them all the way down and to fold them up. With number 3 being for our lights on and off at the bottom of the ship. So they're the spotlights, there we go. Number 4 is to lock and unlock our landing gear underneath that. And number 6 and number 7 is for our thruster override, so we can take our hands off the keyboard and speed up. Number 9 is a very useful block, and that is our parachute on and off. Then we come over to tab number 2, where we once again got our cruise control that we can turn on and off as we please, with 2 and 3 being the exact same, being our spotlights on and off, and our hinge up and down. 5, 6, 7, and 8 is going to be for our turret manual control around the ship. So there we go. And number 9 is going to be for our decoys at the top there, next to our Gatling guns. So it'll be these ones up here, on and off. Coming to tab number 3, this is going to be for our drilling arm. Pressing number 1, we're going to get a camera to view all the way down. And we're going to press number 3 to deploy our piston. So there we go, that's now going to come all the way down. That is for our connector, so we can connect up to a dock nice and easily. And then, if we were to move, say, the free camera all the way over to the opposite side, round to here, put the light on. This is going to be for our drilling arm, where we can press number 6 to turn on the drill. We can then press number 7 to start moving it down, with number 8 being on and off. There we go, we're now going to collect up all the stone, shove it into our survival kit. That's going to refine it into raw materials, and we can use that to patch up this ship in case it took damage. So there we go, we'll turn that off and reverse that all the way back up. On tab number 4, we then got some controls for our general purposes around the ship, which is going to be for our ore detector on and off, our antenna on and off, our spotlights on and off, and then our hydrogen thrusters on and off. And this is going to be for both the reverse thrust for both cockpits. So number 5 is going to be for the one down the bottom here. There we go. And number 4 is going to be for the ones at the top right there. So there we go. With that, we'll turn them back on for the moment. 6 and 7 is for our sensor blocks, where we can turn them on and off and they'll detect any kind of threats or neutral threats that come close to the ship. Number 8 and number 9 is for our reactors and batteries on and off and to auto and recharge. Then back over to tab number 5, which is the final tab. This is for all your refineries and stuff around the ship. So number 1 is going to be for our O2H2 generator on and off, our auction farms on and off, our gravity generator. Now watch the bottom screen, I'll try and get it so you can see it very clearly. We can turn that on and off. If we have to come into here and come out, we'll now just come down to here, where we'll start walking along the glass floor. So there we go. Getting into that seat that I was just in, all the way down to here. Number 4 is for our gyroscopes on and off. Number 5 is for our jump drives on and off. Number 6 for our beacon on and off. And number 9 is for our projector on and off, so we'll be able to see any damaged blocks around the ship and easily repair it up. Number 6, 7, 8 and 9 is all empty. So now what we can do is take off and see how this thing handles. So we're going to fold them all the way down like so, undo the parking brakes. And now we're ready to lift off from the ground. So there we go with that. When we come to a stop, we can now switch over to this seat, which is going to be the main flying seat. So this is the one facing forwards, and there's the Gatling gun we saw earlier, as well as the auction farm that is sitting on. So yes, moving forwards, this is what we get. We've got some nice speed thanks to that hydrogen thruster there, pushing us along. We can see quite a lot of smoke coming off those solar panels, but it is no issue whatsoever. But if you are worried, you can always fold them out. But it does look a lot better when it's flying around an atmosphere with them folded back. Coming to a stop is a lot slower, so you may need to do a 180 and boost forwards to get all that speed from that large hydrogen thruster to stop in a more reasonable amount of time. Moving left, and then moving right, this is what we get. We are quite slow with that, but it's not too bad overall. Moving down, and then moving up, can be basically the same as left and right. Moving up and down is going to be very different when we switch cockpits, so we're just coming to that one, and then start moving down. So there we go, that's going to be the same moving down, but moving up, we are one hell of a lot faster. So when you're landing on a planet, when you're landing on the moon, you will need to try and rely on this thruster right below here, and then deploy the parachutes in case you messed it up. So one final thing to do is move my mouse around, and this is what we get. There is a little bit of weight on here, but it's generally what I prefer to when it comes to this size of ship. Yes, that is basically it for what the personal exploration and engineering rocket has to offer. What we can do is just cruise along like so, get some nice speed like this. Then we can turn that off and we can head towards that pirate base over there to see how our guns handle. So there is the enemy base in the distance right there. Before we go up to it, we will quickly go through the hotbar of this seat because it is slightly different and I did accidentally miss that out. But yes, on tab number 2, we got some controls for our jump drives where you can jump 2,000 kilometers. And then on tab number 3, we got some controls for our custom gun sitting right there. So we can view the camera like so, we can press number 9, and then we can shoot it all the way forwards. So there we go. So what we're going to do is come all the way over to this pirate base. We are almost in range. We're going to deploy, well, retract our solar panels to try and minimize the damage to the main body. We're using solar panels as armor, and hopefully our Gatling guns is going to engage that. And we'll have a good time. So we're just going to start shooting it like so. Oh, we got our hit marker going. I can't see anything going on there. There's the turret. We want to get rid of that. Let's just try and get rid of the rocket turret. Hopefully it won't turn around and start shooting us. That's now been disabled. I don't think they're actually going to attack me. And here we go. That made it a little bit better. It wasn't open firing because the ship belonged to no one. So there goes our turrets. We're now shooting that away. We're actually doing very well. Look at that go. If we were to find our projector block, if I can still find it, it should be somewhere around here. Let's just come over to this seat right here and switch that on. It might have been destroyed. No, it hasn't. There it is. There's a projector block. And we'll get back into here. Don't think we've done too much damage around this. I think we're in reasonably one piece. I don't think I've heard anything get destroyed. We'll start rotating around here. There is a gun right there. We now switch over to this one. And we can try and start shooting it all the way forwards. Although I think they destroyed our Gatling guns on the side there. Yes, they have. There's one last turret we need to deal with, which I believe is all the way around here, which is the rocket turret, which I somehow destroyed on the drive-by. Oop! And, Well, I said we got there in one piece. I slammed into part of a rock. Now we just come and fly away from there. Oh god, oh this is going bad. I kind of slammed into that. We've lost the back of this. What we're going to need to do is get out of here very quickly while we're still spinning around and try and reach our little deployable rocket or ship even that's sitting under here if it's still alive. There it is right there. We need to come over to this. We need to press the power button if I can. There we go. I've now pressed that button on the side there. We can now disconnect ourselves by pressing P and away we go. We now escaped the rotating death, which is the ship sitting right there. Look at that go around. The turrets are still having a blast at the base right there. But yes, this is the small ship that you can deploy and go and mine around. You just sit on it like so. We've got controls for our drill to on and off it, or manual control if you wanted. And we just fly across over to here, drop all the way down, and then start mining away at the ice. So that's all you do. You just come and drop down, you just mine away with it, and then go dock up with the ship and it will unload everything. As for the buttons around it, we've got a button there to switch it on and off, which is going to be for all the key components around the ship. Our hydrogen tanks to stockpile on and off to draw out the main ship. We got our landing gear up above there, which is how we're going to lock ourselves in place with the connector. And then over to here, we then got our batteries to auto or recharge. And that is that for the small ship, which can be used as an escape pod in the event you accidentally slam into a small mountainside. And well, that happens. So yes, that is it for the personal exploration and engineering rocket. There'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download and play around with it yourself. I highly recommend you do because it is a lovely little ship and you get a nice lot of features out of it. So thank you all for watching and I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.